Hi there, Virtue again. Thank you for joining me on this clip. I'm going to talk about the Ghost Adventures team and about a particular recent episode that they did. All the links of everything I'm talking about throughout this clip are all in the description, including a link to my website if you want to know some more information. I guess I just have to mention very briefly in the beginning that I come from a paranormal investigation background. I've never been on a paranormal investigation. I was supposed to go once and I cancelled at the last minute because I thought I don't want to sit in the cold and the dark till 3 in the morning. That's my attitude. I'm terrible. I have nothing against paranormal investigators. There's some really good ones out there, and there's some ones that do some really good research as well. My involvement with the dead is as a medium. This is a bit of a reluctant thing I do. However, I do it because I like to help people out that are in trouble with hauntings. Hauntings can be very traumatic, and I have an ability, because of not only my medium skills, but also that I'm a left-hand path practitioner, and I'm a very experienced practitioner, and I can bind and pretty much clear a lot of really nasty hauntings. So it might take a few times to do it, but most of the time I get it. Most of the ones I've been able to go back and check, I haven't had a problem with. Anyway, if you want to look a bit more about my spirituality, have a look on the website. But I do practice black and white magic, and I want that up front so people understand that I actually have some experience in what I'm talking about. I do throw curses. I've got a couple of huge curses out at the moment, and that's because I've had no choice. I've been trying to deal with these situations for a long time, and I just keep getting nowhere, no matter how hard I try as an adult human being to undo these situations. Sometimes you just can't do anything else. I mean, I'm very lucky that I've got this ability, but I always leave the cursing and the hexing and the nasty stuff to the very last resort. But I do know about curses, and I do know about magic, and I do know the ramifications of what these boys are getting mixed up in. So with that said, the issues that I'm really looking at is the first one is blocking their fair use in any of their material. I want to have a quick talk about that, but mainly I want to focus on also their seemingly lack of respect for other people's spiritual practices, because I'm pissy about it. I really am. And also their one-sided view about this. I'm going to accuse these boys of witch hunting. I really am. But I'm also going to want to have a little chat about interfering with curses, other people's magic. So if we just go through that, one of the reasons that you're looking at a painting, because I am also a painter, as you can probably see, because that's what you're going to stare at. I had a lovely clip, all organised. It was a lot more. It was a lot nicer than this one. He was talking about the same things, but I had used 3 minutes of their 45-minute episode of the Witches of Magna. And when I went through this, I spent a good couple of hours on the video. I then uploaded it, got it all ready, and I realised it was blocked. All of the content was blocked in the US. And I thought, well, fuck you. Really? I can't believe that. Because it's hard to do a review, because I'm going to have to quickly describe what happened. And if you want to look at it, it's the links in the below. And it's about 2/3 of the way through the actual incident. I will describe it if you can't be effed, and you can just imagine it. But it is really annoying, because this is actually a review of types. It's a critique of types. And, here's Zach Baggins in the opening credits saying things like, oh, we've worked hard to achieve the reputation we have. Really? You're making it hard for people to review you properly? Is that why your reputation's so good? Because I find that really stifling. And it really disappointed me because I thought these boys were about opening up the dead world for people to see. I mean, they've got such an incredible position in this world where they're talking about the dead to people who wouldn't even watch anything like this. And yet they've got this, themselves and the Travel Channel have got this tight-ass hold that you can't even use one tiny little bit. Have you not heard of fair use? I actually think it's disgraceful. And I mean, I could have just got around it by filming the TV or doing a screenshot, but you know what? I couldn't be asked. I thought they'll probably pull it down. And I also heard of someone in the UK, because none of their content was blocked in the UK because they're not allowed to do it. I heard of someone in the UK that occasionally uses clips. Now, I don't know if this is true, but goddamn, it's funny if it is. Apparently, he said when he uses clips, he tries not to use them because they actually try and charge him for it. Now, I don't know if that's true. He could be pulling that shit out of his ass. I don't know. Anyway, let's get on with this. I'll give you a brief description of what happened, okay? Now, what happens is they go into this pizza shop in a place called Magna that is in Pennsylvania. Now, it's small. It's about 2,500 people, so it's small town America. There's a pizza shop and there's a Wiccan shop, of all things. So, I mean, there's another witch as well, a practicing witch as well. I don't know if she's Wiccan or what she is. And all of these people are accusing this one woman of cursing them. The problem I have with this to start with, on the up and up, is we don't know who this woman is, which is kind of lucky because she just had her name spread all over the world as being a bad witch or an evil witch by Zach, who's just made that decision. But we don't know her story. We don't know anything about it. We don't even know if this woman did that curse. That curse could have been done by anybody. And they could all be blaming this woman. You know, honestly, it's common sense. When I watched this section of them talking to these people, and they're all saying, oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah. This woman's bad. Yeah, she's bad. Look what she did to us. Isn't it unfair? I really didn't believe any of them. Because to me, it seemed like it was more a case of this woman being run out of town to me. When they went to the Wiccan shop, the two women in there said, oh, this witch, we knew she was practicing black magic. So they sacked her. I would have been down there the next day with a bloody fucking unfair dismissal form. You can't sack people for their religious practices, especially if you're working from a witch shop. What's wrong with you people? Anyway, I don't know what this woman did. I really don't. But I just think that what they did was really unfair. And the way they treated her without giving her side of the story is really quite wrong. It is intolerance. Now, Zach starts. What happens is they get lured. They do their investigation, and there's this thing. You should watch it. It's about 2/3 of the way through the video. They keep repeating it so you won't be able to miss it. They play it back about 4 times. I don't know how anyone would have actually set it up. It's something I think that probably is real. And if it is, it's powerful. And if that was a curse, this woman knows, or whoever did that curse, is a powerful practitioner. Because I've never seen anything like that. That was unbelievable. They got lured into a back room in a basement, and there was this almighty bang. And if you watch it carefully, you can actually see the boards above their head. They actually bend down and go back up. Now, they went and investigated all the sort of prospects, but I think, honestly, if something had made that much of an impact above, there would have been damage, because it was so loud. Anyway, have a look if you've got a few minutes, and it'd be interesting to see what you think. So that's what happened. Now this is so-called the curse. This is apparently the room where the curse was laid. We don't know this because we don't know who did the curse. Really, getting involved in this is really stupid because you've put this stuff out there for a television show. The television show is going all over the world. This woman that apparently laid the curse, I have forgotten to mention too, apparently had disappeared. I don't know what that means, but she disappeared. And nobody bothered to try and find her by the looks of it. I mean, they've got teams of researchers. Can't you find her? It's a show that makes millions of dollars. You can't get a private detective. I want to know her side of the story. I'm sure other people do too. Anyway, they need to learn to respect other people's spiritual practices. As I said, I completely put my hand up and say, yes, I do practice black magic, but only when necessary. It takes the shit out of me. It really, really drains me. That's why I try not to do it. But sometimes a girl's got to look after herself. A girl's got to defend herself. Now, if this curse was done by that woman and she was defending herself against all these people, is it such a bad thing? Because you don't interfere with this when you don't know the story. Because you can't. It's one-sided. These people that have laid this curse, whoever did it, I have no doubt they've got a TV. And I have no doubt that they've seen it. And if you're interfering actively with their curse and running around saying, by the power of good, get out, that thing would eat you for dinner. It really would. Even I wouldn't touch it. And I'm used to high-level deities. I mean, I evoke the odd one myself. I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole. So, I guess really, to round up, don't block your bloody videos. Allow fair use, you greedy bastards. I really found that really disappointing because I really did believe that Ghost Adventures were into actually talking about the dead, getting discussion out there. But they seem to be more into selling fans and TV careers because that is just Hollywood, really. Also, the spiritual respect. I mean, there were even just another aside on that note. There were even complaints from the Navajo Indians about another recent episode they did and about them not going through the elders. I think basically it was. I've put the link in there to the article and about the going in on the reservation and doing a ghost hunt. Now, they were invited in there by a couple that were having a lot of trouble in their house. These people looked genuinely distressed. They looked like lovely people. But nobody checked with the elders about it. And this is their spiritual business. And they don't want other people to interfere. You can't interfere with the natives. I mean, when I go into hauntings, I have lowers. And my lowers are very precise. When I walk in to a bad haunting, I have them and we are actively working to try and sort this mess out. When I walk into anything that's native, all they say is get the natives, and I know that means you're not going to get anything. So I can turn around and go home because I can't touch it, because it's other people's magic. And I think really, as I said, I have nothing against paranormal groups. I don't really particularly like the gadgety things, but if they can get something on them, and I know a lot that do a lot of really good research too, and I actually love listening to their research. So I go to their lectures when they do them. But be careful of messing around with magic because you can get yourself cursed. And this is the whole thing. If someone that laid that curse gets wind of that you have been trying to undo it or suggesting a way to undo it, they could get really pissed off, regardless of whether that curse is justified or not, and decide to curse you or your families. You know, whoever laid that is powerful. And you just don't know where it's coming from. Anyway, that's my warning and that's my lectures, and bloody Ghost Adventures, you really disappointed me. Fair use and freedom of speech. Anyway, I got to flog off a painting. I hope you all enjoyed the painting. Just imagine their faces on it. That's all you're going to do. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'd like to hear some comments as usual, and I hope that I get to see you on another clip. Bye for now.